Hey everybody, I'm Sherry with Red Apple Auctions and welcome to Auction Tuesday. It's the best day of the week because we get to talk about fundraising, galas, and benefit auctions. And if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, I invite you to join us. You can subscribe so that you'll be alerted to the next video that I put out. Now, I have to say I'm a little out of sorts today because I just returned from a long 2-week vacation that my friend, my neighbor, and I took on Viking cruises. We went down the Danube River and it was marvelous in many ways, but it was also very different than expected. I don't know if you've seen any of the news reports, but the Danube River has really low water right now. It's not unusual for it to have low water, but this is record breaking. At times, we only had 12 inches of water underneath the vessel. So because of that, we had to make some changes in our trip, and they changed boats. We made it into one dock, and then we were bussed to a couple of destinations, but put onto a new vessel a bit further down the river. And those people that were on that other ship traded with us and took over our staterooms and went on their way, and we stayed on their boat for a couple of nights, and then we were moved into a really nice hotel in Budapest just because they couldn't navigate the river. And if you paid attention to any global news reports, you may have seen this because there was one ship that ran aground with Viking, and fortunately we didn't have that problem, so they had to evacuate them. And there was another cruise line that just midweek sent all of their guests home, just sayonara, gotta go, we can't float. So at least we didn't have that to deal with. And then I saw a news report as well that there was a World War II vessel that was also now uncovered, I think in Bulgaria. And the water levels have gotten so low that they were able to see some ships that had sunk during the war. So crazy times. But overall, it was a really nice trip. Like I said, it was about 2 weeks. We stayed some extra days at the end. And we're already talking about going back. So don't know when that's going to be, but we did have a really good time. And then this month, August, I'm going to be headed back to Kansas to visit my mom. So July and August, I'm just not around very much, but it's all personal travel instead of work travel, which is what it usually is. So it's been a really nice break. But none of that has anything to do with what we're talking about today, which is a golden paddle raffle. If you are a subscriber, you know that a few weeks ago I started doing a series on raffles. Each week I'm focused on a different type of raffle that you could use in your gala. So if you want to see what some of those prior videos are, I will include the links below so that you can read those in the notes. Today, the golden paddle raffle is going to be something that you might call something different in your neck of the woods. Or you might not have heard of it because it's not a raffle that is used very often. I haven't seen it used very often. Now, that's not to say that it's a bad raffle. It's just that I think that sometimes we do what we see, and if you haven't seen it, then nobody's doing it. So once you hear about the details of it, you can decide if it's something that's good for your group or not. As always, jurisdictions are different, so you're going to need to follow the laws in your own area. So golden paddle. Similar to our Best of Live raffle, which I talked about 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago, this is where we're selling a set number of tickets at a price point that is typically a bit higher. So if $100 is high in your market, then you might imagine selling 100 tickets at $100, thereby earning a kitty of $10,000. Or maybe you would sell 50 tickets at $100. You're going to need to figure out what's going to work for you. As I get into the details, you'll be able to better analyze what the right number and right price is for you. Now, right before the live auction is when we pull the winner of the golden paddle. Remember, we've sold all the tickets, and just for simplicity purposes, let's say it was 100 tickets at $100. This is one where you really do need to be present to win. Because, and here's the juice, the winner is going to get that kitty. They're going to get the amount of the raffle in a credit that they can use to bid on packages in the live auction. So if $10,000 is what is raised, then the winner is going to get a $10,000 credit that they can use to bid on items. Now, sometimes people will save that $10,000 and they'll bid aggressively on one item because that's the item that they want. But other winners will be, I don't know. I can see them thinking in their head, I don't know. I think that trip that I really want is going to go for more than 10. So I'm going to distribute out my bidding strategy and I'm going to bid on this item over here and win it maybe for $3,000. And I'll bid on that item over there and maybe I'll get that for $6,000, or maybe they try to win something with their $10,000 and darn it, they don't get it. Sometimes that happens too, or they only spend $4,000 of their $10,000, meaning that the nonprofit is clearing $6,000 free and clear. Now, what is the advantage of this? Well, if somebody wins who doesn't typically participate in the live auction, it can really add a new competitive bidder to the live auction, which is kind of fun. I've seen it a couple of times at schools where a teacher wins the $10,000. Teachers typically are not active bidders in the live auction, but you better believe when they win $10,000, they become active bidders. So you have added someone new to the pool. It also tends to elevate all of the live auction packages sales. So that's an advantage of it. And a third advantage, I would say, is that it's not something that is typically seen. So if you're looking to do something a little bit out of the norm, something different from everybody else in your neighborhood, that might be something to look at. It's also kind of fun because you'll give the winner a golden paddle, or that's typically what I see. You don't have to, but I think it's nice to do that so that when that person is bidding, everybody knows, oh, they're the ones that won the money. So there's that too. You don't have to do that, but I have seen that done. A disadvantage of this raffle is that you are possibly going to have a winner who would have given you $10,000 in the live auction anyway. If I'm a big bidder and I have in my mind that I'm going to spend up to $7,000 in the live auction, well, now that money has been supported by a $10,000 win that I have just gotten from my golden paddle. I've got $10,000 credit now that I can use. So that $7,000 that I was going to give you, maybe I don't need to give it to you now because I won it in the $10,000 and you're getting that credit back, which would have been extra money. That is a credit. It's not like they're getting money at the end of it. So if they only spend $5,000 while they bid in the live auction, it's not like you're giving them a $5,000 check on the way out the door. They've lost that part of it. So it's a credit towards the live auction. If they don't use all $10,000 in the live auction, they don't use it, but that money stays with the nonprofit. Little bit different angle. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but again, the Golden Paddle Raffle. What do you think? Is that something that you would use in your event? Have you seen it used before? Are there any specific rules that you've put in place that you think work better with this? Chat below. I'll be down there in the comments sharing my information and thoughts on it as you make your comments. Thanks for watching.